P&O Australia's largest ship in history arrives in Sydney, engine trouble for Quantum in Alaska, and Carnival make a few changes, some good and some not so good. I'm Adrian, the Cruise and Travel Guy. As always, thank you for subscribing to my channel, and if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. Quantum of the Seas has suffered from an engine malfunction during its Alaskan cruise season. Royal Caribbean confirmed there are issues with one of the ship's 4 engines, leading to the vessel sailing at a reduced speed. Global supply chain issues mean that parts required for the repair have been delayed, and unfortunately for those on board, the ship will not be completing Scenic cruising through some of the state's spectacular glacier regions. Scenic cruising is one of the highlights of any Alaskan cruise, so affected guests that would rather cancel their cruise can do so for a full refund, or those that are willing to remain on board will receive a refundable onboard credit. This week, P&O made history when it finally welcomed the Pacific Encounter into an Australian port. The largest ship to ever join the P&O fleet, Pacific Encounter, sailed into Sydney for the first time on Tuesday morning with a tugboat water cannon salute. Of note is that in 2016, Carnival Corporation had actually announced that P&O Australia would be receiving its first ever new build. The 4,200 passenger, 135,000 gross tonne ship was set to join the line in 2019. However, during construction, that ship was transferred to Carnival Cruises, and P&O lost its chance at finally acquiring its first ever new build. That ship was eventually launched as the Carnival Panorama, and in replacement of the new build, P&O acquired both the Star Princess and Golden Princess, what we now know as the Pacific Encounter and Pacific Adventure. Encounter is the first of 2 Grand Class vessels to join the P&O Australia fleet. The 109,000-tonne vessel is considerably larger than fleetmate Pacific Explorer, and debuts new features for the cruise line like the suites-only bar and beach club and the indoor family pool and entertainment zone. Personally, I'm a big fan of the Grand Class ships, so I'm glad that we'll be able to enjoy them locally for years to come. Encounter will remain berthed at Sydney's overseas passenger terminal until the afternoon of Sunday, August 7th. She'll return on August 10th and remain berthed until August 18th, when she will embark on a 2-night activation cruise to Brisbane. She'll then commence passenger service from her home port of Brisbane on August 20th. I'll be bringing you a full ship tour very soon, so make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss it. The United States has been on the leading edge when it comes to the resumption of the cruise industry. Last week I reported that Royal Caribbean would be removing its pre-cruise testing requirement for vaccinated travellers on short cruises. Now, Carnival Cruises and MSC have joined their competitor line in removing the testing requirement for vaccinated travellers on cruises of 5 nights or shorter. It's likely that these developments will eventually make their way to Australia, but I suspect that we won't see these changes anytime before 2023. Whether for work or recreation, our dependence on internet connectivity has never been so high. In response, Carnival Cruises are upgrading their onboard technology to better cater for increased guest demand for stable and faster internet connections. The company will use additional satellite bandwidth from a number of different providers and has also installed extra Wi-Fi access points on board its ships to make connecting and staying connected easier than ever. The upgrades arrive at the same time as the revised Carnival Hub app. The updated app will allow passengers to book onboard services and shore tours, as well as join virtual queues to better manage crowding. The development of these technologies will only increase guest dependence on stable Wi-Fi and internet access, so the upgrades couldn't come at a better time. Meanwhile, as reported by Cruise Radio, Carnival Cruise Lines have implemented a number of changes across its fleet. This includes the removal of the room service breakfast ordering card from staterooms. Instead, passengers will need to place their orders via the phone. Plus, the onboard pizzeria will no longer operate 24/7, but instead close between the hours of 4 AM and 9 AM. I'm pretty sure that won't affect the majority of people. Just get your pizza orders in by 3:59. Well, that's about it for this week's cruise news update. Wherever you are, thank you very much for watching. If you are looking for a cruise, you can do that on my website, thecruiseandtravelguy.com.au. And if you haven't done so already, you can give me a follow on Facebook and Instagram at The Cruise and Travel Guy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Scenic cruising is one of the highlights of any Alaskan cruise, so affected guests that don't want to sail on the affected cruise. In response to this demand, Carnival Cruises have committed to doing something. In response to this demand, Carnival Cruises are updating their onboard technology to better cater for increased demand. In response, Carnival Cruises are updating their onboard technology to better meet the